Hi there, I'm meteorologist Mariel Ruiz. It is Thursday, October 10th, and we are tracking Milton. Now, it did make landfall last night, October 9th at 7:30 in the evening near Siesta Key as a Category 3 hurricane. That classifies it as a major hurricane with max winds of 120 miles per hour. If you're familiar with Siesta Key, it is just south of Sarasota. There's Tampa, so just south of that, north of Fort Myers. Still looking at some wraparound moisture in the area, but now it's still Category 1 storm as of the latest advisory with max sustained winds of 85 miles per hour and wind gusts of 105 miles per hour, still moving to the northeast at about 18 miles per hour. So this thing is trekking off of the coastline there. Still bringing in some rain from St. Augustine, Daytona Beach down to Melbourne. And so we'll continue to see some rainfall totals added to what has already fallen overnight. Now we are looking at the strongest rain bands now off of that coastline. So fortunately, we'll start to see some slightly drier air starting to push into the region. So this is going to continue to push off towards the east. It'll keep its Category 1 strength for much of the morning, eventually weaken to a tropical depression as we head into the overnight hours, and then it'll move away from land. So that would be the current track. Still, because it's so close to the coastline, the tropical storm warnings in red there extend all the way from southern Georgia along the east coast of Florida. The pink that you see there, Daytona Beach, included in that in a hurricane warning just because it is so close to land still. Now, storm surge still looking possible. The forecast does call for 3 to 5 feet. I think it'll be slightly lower, and it's because of the direction the winds are relative to the coastline. It's helping push some of this water away now, and as Milton continues to progress towards the east, that'll continue to be the case where the winds are going to be off land, so it's going to help push some of this water back onto the ocean. So right now it looks like any additional rainfall, the heaviest rainfall, will happen over the water, 2 to 4 inches, and right along that coastline, 1 to 2 additional inches of rain will be possible, and this does extend into portions of southern Georgia between Savannah, Brunswick, seeing still less than 1 inch of rainfall as this timecast takes it. This is Thursday around 1 in the afternoon. You see it still as a Category 1 hurricane. It'll eventually, again, lose in strength, but the heaviest rain will now be over the water instead of over land. So, of course, that's going to help us recover there in Florida. Okay, so a few of the records that Milton did hit. Since 1979, the fourth lowest pressure in the Atlantic at 897 millibars. Millibars is a measure of pressure. Since 1966, strongest storm in the Gulf this late in the season with max winds of 180. At its peak, Milton was a Category 5. Since 1950, one of only 3 storms in the Gulf with winds of 180 miles per hour or higher. So this, of course, going to be one of the strongest storms that we have witnessed in the Gulf. Okay, so let's talk about the tornadoes that we saw with Hurricane Milton. Way ahead of landfall, we started seeing these tornado warnings pop up. This box indicates all of the tornado warnings that the National Weather Service did issue. Over 150 warnings were issued yesterday afternoon ahead of landfall, all as the outer bands were making it into Florida or South Florida. And this was actually tweeted out by the National Weather Service in Miami. It shows a few of the tracks with some of those warned storms. This won't be it. We will see more here in the next hours as the National Weather Service does go out and survey these areas. But 5 out of 7 of those tornadoes were confirmed because of the pictures that were sent in to the National Weather Service. Some of them confirmed via radar. You know, no preliminary EF scale ratings, but I am expecting them to be on the high side just because of the sheer size of these tornadoes and how long they were on the ground. Generally with tropical systems, you see these tornadoes kind of spin up quickly and then leave quickly. A lot of these were long tracks, so it'll be interesting to see the surveys on that. But several tornado reports in the last 24 hours there in South Florida, and notice how it was mostly South Florida. About 48 reports officially. A few of these reports could be 2 people seeing the same thing. So we will see how many confirmed tornadoes there are in the days to come. Now, this is what it looks like right now on satellite and radar. You see that it's starting to clear out where the tornadoes were most heavily impacted. But I do want to overlay Milton's track here. You see that? Okay, so Milton's track, right-hand side of the track. We always talk about it being the most dangerous side, and that's where we had all of that severe weather. So most of those reports coming from the right side of Milton. The left side, of course, hit heavy with that rainfall, but the right side is where we had, of course, all of those tornado warnings. Active storms right now, we have Milton still a Category 1. We have Leslie, Category 5. Now, we were watching this big area of thunderstorms south of Bermuda. Now, it does not look like it has a chance of development. Yesterday at this time, it did look like it could maybe have some kind of a signature of a low pressure. Does not look to be the case this time, fortunately, because I could say that Florida definitely does need a break. So peak of hurricane season, generally September 10th. We see another uptick in activity late October. Right now, we're generally in a dip, but that's not the case this time around, especially not when we're talking about the Gulf. The Gulf hurricane landfalls this season alone, we have had 5, 3 of them in Florida: Milton, Debbie, and Helene. Helene, of course, is happening within the last 2 weeks as a Category 4, the strongest one. But I want to also show you the Gulf Coast major hurricane landfall. That's Category 3 or higher since 2017. 10 landfalls, including Milton. And most of those landfalls, by the way, happening along that Florida coastline. In Texas, just one with Harvey. So, of course, we have definitely seen an increase in activity. Look at this. 10 landfalls again since 2017, but between 2006 and 2016, 0 landfalls. So, of course, we'll continue to watch Milton and definitely make sure to keep checking in with us here on WFAA Plus. We will continue to stream this and, of course, any content here locally.